There's a lot of magic that happens behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. All this BTS. Okay. So once again, good morning. This is Mr. Bob. You can call me Mr. Bob. March 30th. It's Thursday, the end of the week for me. uh, and yeah, we're going to be talking about division and classification essays. Again, we're going to look at the water crisis. We're going to talk about plagiarism. I don't know if you know what that is. We're going to talk about supporting sentences, opposite order, whatever. All right, good morning, everyone, and how are you doing? Thanks for messaging in the chat box, turning on your mics. Always, you can write me a message anytime, Google Classroom. You can write messages on your assignments to me. I appreciate kind of the dialogue. Some students are talking to me only on assignments. I don't see you in class, but I see your assignments, so it's participation. You're doing something. So I'm proud of you, everybody. We're going through a lot of things. Some students are having insomnia. We all need a regular schedule. We need a routine. It's very important. And when something in the world, literally shakes it, yeah, we kind of lose our routine. When we have to not go to school, we also lose our routines. So make those routines. Hang out with your friends, chat them up, get outside, exercise. Let's talk about food rules again. All right. I want to go back to that idea. The food is too. Ooh, there it is. I don't know if I love that, guys. Let's just choose a. Is there just. Let's just make it a table. It's a table. This is your dinner table. Okay, what I want you to do, I'm going to send you this link again to Graham. This will be an assignment. I'll make this into an assignment right now. I'm going to send you this link. Go ahead, click on that. And there's 64 rules. Okay. What I want you to do, you just copy and paste. Okay. So I want you to choose. Oh, sorry. I guess I have to show. This is boring. So choose 3 food rules that are important to you. Okay. I'm going to let you go ahead and. Oh, the links work. So nice. Huh. All right. Here's the Padlet. I want you to choose 3 food rules. Okay. Go ahead, press that plus button first. Put your name, as always. I'm going to read through some of these that I think are important to me. Eat food, that's too easy. I like this rule. So avoid, and include the number. Okay. Avoid food products that contain more than 5 ingredients. Okay. Like if you buy pasta, there's like I think 3 ingredients. I don't know if there's water, egg, flour. That's it. That's okay. When you buy like rice, there's 1 ingredient. You know. But when you buy that bag of potato chips or chocolate, I love chocolate. No, you should buy good chocolate, not the stuff at the stores. Treat yourself. But when you buy a bag of potato chips and you look at the label and there's like 20 things on it, it's crazy. Avoid food products that contain ingredients third class cannot pronounce. Yeah, see, can't pronounce it. Um, I don't know about this one. So, food that will eventually rot. Rot means it goes bad. Okay? I have a bag of cornflakes cereal in my kitchen, and it's still good. Some foods last forever. It's fine. Pasta, dried pasta will last forever. I don't agree with that one. What kinds of food should I eat? I believe in this very much. Actually, I believe in this one too. Treat meat as a flavoring or special occasion food. Okay, with you're with friends, you can put more than three if you want. Let's go down. And this one. Not eat less. Stop eating before you're full. So, the Japanese people in Okinawa, Japan, they have this 80% rule. You do everything to 80%, you know? So, you exercise up to 80%. Um, so, yeah, these are my ones that I chose. If you're just joining us, there's a Padlet we're looking at. I want you to click on this link. Look at the food rules. Michael Pollan, we were talking about stuff from Tuesday still, but I wanted to talk about this, see what you guys think. Look through the list. You can read it. I'll give you a couple minutes, 5 minutes or so. Find the one that is important to you. Find 3 of them, okay? And then copy, paste, boom. But yeah, read the list. I'm going to read them all to you. I move too fast. I'm going to slow down. Slowing down. Food. Rule number 1, eat food. Okay. Don't eat anything your great grandmother wouldn't recognize as food. What is something that they wouldn't recognize? I don't know. Avoid food products containing ingredients that no ordinary human would keep in the pantry. I don't know about that one. Avoid foods that contain high fructose corn syrup. That's the sugar the corn sugar that they put in sodas. Always check that. It makes your insulin go. So, diabetes, those kind of things. Okay. High fructose corn syrup leads to diabetes. I don't know if your parents, both my parents have diabetes or had diabetes. Avoid foods that have some form of sugar. Avoid food products that contain more than 5 ingredients. You pick that one. High fructose corn syrup. Nice. Go ahead. Click on that button. Get in there. We got one ant. Everybody else, if you come to class, participate. Click on those links. You don't learn things until you do things. That's it. If you just have a bunch of books and you don't do anything about it, if you're learning physics and you're just reading a textbook and you're not applying it to life, you know, if you're reading about psychology and you're not practicing these things every day, if you read books about psychology, I just said this, and you don't do something about it, you don't practice what you're learning, you're not going to actually remember it. Just forget things. I'm going to turn up my mic. Containing ingredients that a 3rd grader cannot pronounce. Okay, so like dextrose, blah, 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 blah. Sodium benzoate, those are all, we call it preservatives. Things that preserve, that keep them from going bad. Oh, we have somebody. My phone tells me. All right. Kaan, would you like to read yours for me? I'm just picking on you. All right, we have some people typing away. I'll read it. Avoid food products that contain high fructose corn syrup. Okay. This is where ingredients are very important. You look at the list. Okay. And most foods now contain lots of sugar. Picking? I picked that one. Picking. What does picking mean? Picking means to choose something. Such man. Is that right? I picked that one. Which ones did you pick? I'm just reading it for you. 34, sweeten and salt in your food yourself. I think sometimes, I just as someone who loves cooking, I want the salt to just be just right, you know. When you go to a nice restaurant, when you go to a nice restaurant though, you know, and there's a chef and they're like making their, you know, who's that salt guy? Throws the salt. Um, Something that's happening is that people, I don't know about in Turkey, but in America, people don't put any salt in the food, and you need some salt in your food, right? Especially if you exercise. The whiter the bread, the sooner you're dead. Nice little poem. Yep. So white bread, it's they bleach it. They take the color out of it with chemicals. Okay. Go. Cool. Avoid food products with the word always like light or terms low fat, non fat. Avoid foods that pretending to be something they are not. Imitation something something. Avoid foods you see advertised on television. So anything that's like has a commercial, they're trying to make money, you know. Down with capitalism. I'm not a communist, but ultra ultra capitalism is just destroying our world. Shop the periphery, so the outside parts of the supermarket. Okay, usually they put all of the companies pay money to put food in the middle of the supermarket where everybody will see it. The stuff on the outside is usually cheaper, healthier, probably. Eat foods made from ingredients that you can picture in their raw state or growing in nature. I don't know. Cookies. Do cookies grow in nature? You know, sweets are good, but get out of the supermarket whenever you can. Buy your snacks at the farmer's market, which means buying fruits. I don't know if you guys just snack on grapes or in the summer, I love just buying watermelon and I just keep it in my refrigerator and I eat watermelon every day. I don't like drinking water. I like eating water, especially watermelon. When you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, eh, you get you get your water from other foods, you know. I don't know if you know this, but dolphins and whales, they're mammals. They live in the oceans. They can't drink water. They can't drink salt water. They'll die, right? So dolphins get all of their food from fish, from eating. You know, it's like if I lived in the ocean, I couldn't drink the water. I just have to breathe it into me or something. But dolphins, they only eat water. They eat their fish, and the fish gives them water. Blah, 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 blah. Eat only foods that have been cooked by humans. I like that. Which means, you know, all that processed things that you buy that you put in the microwave, or even if you heat it yourself, something else cooked it, a machine. Don't ingest foods made in places where everyone is required to wear a surgical cap. That one's hard. I think because most meat plants, everybody has to wear something. Oh, you guys are doing it. Oh, look at still people. All right, Shema says avoid food products that contain high fructose corn syrup. There's two for that. Eat your colors. Yep, I agree. I would have put that. Eat slowly. And eating slowly actually makes you full faster. If you eat really fast, you actually can eat more, which makes you continue to eat and eat. When you're eating slowly, when you're with friends, or when you're just being mindful and taking little bites, you actually slow down. Ophelia says 11, avoid foods you see advertised on television, right? I don't even watch television anymore. So. Right. Body cannot understand it's full like in 10 minutes. It takes that long. This is another thing also, like drink water while you're eating. Most cultures don't drink water during meals. They drink after. And yeah, drinking water makes you feel full, your stomach, right? Ophelia says 27, eat animals that have themselves eaten well. I think this is really important. I think meat is okay. Um, I think as long as it's like, they don't live in the factories, as long as, you know, you're not over consuming. Eat when you are hungry, not when you are bored. Yes. Yes. 47, that's a good one. What's around there? So, yeah, part three, how should I eat? Part two is, what kinds of food should I eat? Think about all of those things. Uh, yeah, I like this one. Supplements are, vitamin pills, vitamin A or B or C. Your body cannot absorb like the pills. Most of it just leaves your body. So you should just try to eat foods that have those supplements. If you want food with vitamin A, eat carrots. One thing I do take is fish oil pill. I would like to eat more fish, but it's expensive and I don't want to cook it all the time. Stop eating before you're full. Pay more, eat less. Okay. I know that's difficult, especially now with the economy. But, I think there's still ways to do it, especially just buying vegetables. I really think, cooking is how you save money. Because when you cook your own food, you spend much less money going out. Um, you're eating healthier. You're paying less, even though the ingredients are better. So consult your gut, okay? If you don't feel well, don't keep eating. The banquet is in the first bite. So the banquet is like a big meal, fancy. He's saying the first bite, taking this adage to heart will help you enjoy your food and eat more slowly. So that first bite, that 100th bite, afterwards, it's not going to taste the same. The first bite is where all the food, you taste it all. Yeah, spend as much time enjoying the meal as it took to prepare it. This one's important. Buy smaller plates and glasses. So I don't know if Turkey's the same, but in America, the plates have just been getting bigger and bigger. And so it's a visual thing. We look at our plates and, they look empty, so we put more food on there. So when you go to a restaurant, the plates, they use small or medium plates depending on how much food they give you. You know, your brain doesn't know any better. Don't go back for seconds. Eat meals. Limit your snacks. I don't know if you guys snack. I snack on apples and bananas and oranges, mandarins. Those are the things I like. Anybody else? Nope. Try not to eat alone. Treat treats as treats. Okay. Some people call the S policy: no snacks, no seconds, no sweets. Leave something on your plate. I don't like wasting food. I just think, make your portions smaller. I grew up. My mother was like, if you don't eat this, there's children and blah 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 who are dying. And I said, okay, mom, but eating more food doesn't help the starving child in some country. So my mother should cook food for kids in Africa or whatever. Those commercials you see. There's a starving child. You can help by giving $1 a day. Do you have those commercials? Do you remember those? Plant a vegetable garden. Awesome. I think, oh man, what am I talking about? Number one rule: cook. And if you don't have time, I don't know, go home. Find your mom. This one's always important, okay? Just Once in a while, you can cheat. It feels good, you know, when somebody brings the box of baklava to school or to work, you know, you're like, I don't need sugar, but it's a special occasion, you know. Don't be that person that's like, I hate this. No, you know. Be nice. Food is food is communion. It connects us, you know. Food is community. Um, you can sit down with if you can eat a meal with your enemy, you can become friends. Um, if you can eat the same foods as people, right? So when I travel, I don't have many food rules when I travel. Um, Usually, it's if somebody's offering me and it's hospitality and it's welcoming, I think it's important, you know, to just say yes. Maybe don't eat too much of something that you don't like, but I've eaten plenty of food in Japan that I was so scared of. Like the weird parts of fish. In Ethiopia, you know, people put food into your mouth. You don't know where their hands have been, but, you know, just to be nice. And then you learn next time how to avoid it, how to say no politely. You know, it's always good to say, "Oh, I'm so full. I'm so full." You know, the rule in Ethiopia when I went to somebody's house for a meal, for lunch, for dinner, was never finish your plate. When you finish your plate and you say, "Oh, I'm finished," that's when they put more on. You know, but if you just like finish half and you stop and you just put your plate down, maybe you'll eat a little bit more, but you put it down and they just say, "Oh, are you is it okay?" You say, "Yeah, yeah, it's great. I'm just really full." So never finish everything on your plate. Um, and I think they had a rule in Ethiopia. You always leave some on the plate for the ancestors, for the, you know, for the ghosts, for the spirits. I like that rule. Just leave a little for, you know, offer to the gods, offer to the ghost, to your ancestors. All right. So everybody, we'll do that for homework. Do that. Here's a quote. I can't understand why people are frightened of new ideas. I'm frightened of the old ones. I can't understand why people are frightened of new ideas. I'm frightened of the old ones. What do you think about that? Is that a quote that you believe? Not believe? I'm always frightened of old ideas. Like a cult. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so. Maybe sometimes cults sell us new ideas. Like an old idea, right? I always talk about the flat earth. That's an old idea. It's not a new idea. There's cults around that, you know. Most cults are about religion and things like that. There's no cults about like, oh, this new science is the best. Let's adopt it, you know. Maybe somebody will make a cult about Chat GPT, you know. AI is our god. I don't know, it doesn't really happen very often. Most times people are afraid of new things, and you shouldn't be. These are all new things you'll be learning at university. They're old ideas, but new ideas for you. Look at them, accept them, learn from them. Take the ones that you like. This is the critical thinking part. Take the ideas that you feel are good in your life, any of these food rules, you know, adopt them, throw out the ones you don't like. Got to be open to new ideas, right? Right. All right. So this is kind of review for you. We're going to look at supporting sentences. So yeah, in a paragraph, we have, you know, our we have our topic sentence, we have supporting sentences, we have concluding sentences. Okay. I gotta open up my thing. Where are you? Nothing. There's nothing. So many links. Clicks. I should make a link to this. All right, supporting sentences. And this is what your body paragraphs, right? In your essays, you got your body paragraphs, you got your introduction, you got your conclusion, right? But these sentences, all these details, facts, quotations, opinions, statistics. I didn't write opinions. Opinions are weak. That's why. All these supporting sentences, they make up your body paragraph, right? So without good data, without good details, you cannot prove your point. You can't tell your, not story, but you can't, discuss. You can't argue what you're trying to talk about. So yeah. Academic writing requires that you support your ideas and opinions with facts, statistics, quotations. Okay? And these, facts, they're not yours. Somebody's done the research. It's on the internet. It's in a book. It's in some kind of research. All right? They're not yours. Unless you discovered something, that'd be great. These come from outside sources, from books, magazines, newspapers, websites, personal interviews, videos, and so on and so on and so on. Right? You can get it from a Netflix show. You can get it from a YouTube channel. You can get it from websites and everything like that. You can get it from talking to a scientist. You can get it from talking to your teacher. But in your writing, unless you did the research, unless you were finding answers like in the wild, it's not going to come from you. Okay, so we need these things: facts, statistics, and quotations. And let's see the difference between facts and opinions. Okay, what's an opinion? Okay, it's subjective. That means that you believe this. Not everyone. Maybe 50% believe this, maybe 25% believe some statement, okay? So it's based on your beliefs or attitudes. And it's okay when you're trying to prove something. You say, this is better than that because, right? You start with your opinion. You can use that in your topic sentence, but you're trying to prove your point, But you can't prove it with just opinions. You just can't say, why do you like this? Because it's the best. Why is it the best? Because it's the best. Like I love when you ask somebody, why do you like, I don't know, soda? They're like, because it's delicious. And I say, what makes it delicious? I don't know. It's just delicious. That's my biggest thing. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. They can't argue. There are a lot of people like that, So there's a lot of people. And whenever you argue with somebody, it could be your friend, somebody in your class, your parents, and, they tell you, don't do this, What do they say? Don't play video games, okay? And you say, why? Then they say, it's bad for you. And I'm like, okay, why is it bad? They're like, because it is. Like doing too much of anything is bad for you. But you should give some evidence. You should give some facts. Okay, like this: men are better drivers than women. Okay, you probably heard this. It's a very gender things that we do. Some gender discrimination, some misogyny. We always say women are bad drivers. And I've met many women that drive much better than I do. And like, you drive. But we have this thing in our cultures, your culture, somebody else's culture, my culture, where it's like, well, let me drive. You're a lady. Eating kokorech is a bad habit? No. Why is it a bad habit? It's so delicious. English is an easy language to learn. Okay, these are opinions, right? There's no evidence. There's nothing that says why it's easy, why it's a bad habit, why men are better drivers. Maybe, maybe men are slightly better. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they did a test with 1,000 people and, there's a test. But you can't just say that. You need evidence, you need facts. Okay, so these are opinions. And yeah, it's okay to express your opinions in academic writing. It's okay to say, like, I think that this is the better option because, right? But yeah, it's not support. It's kind of like your stance, your like argument is that this is better, and you have to prove it. Okay, but it doesn't support your your argument. If you express an opinion, you must support it with facts. Okay, why is Kokorech better? So facts are objective statements of truth. I don't know. Objective means everybody believes the same thing. Like the sun will rise. That's a pretty objective statement, right? Someday it'll explode. I know. I know. Is that what you're going to tell me? They're objective. So we have subjective and objective. We use the same words in Turkish. Oh, good. Objective? Oh, nice. Okay. Perfect. We can add that to our Quizlet. Objective, subjective. See, thank you. It's good to know these things. But do you really know what objective means, everybody? And do you know which ones are subjective and objective? It's the same. Most people, it's hard to tell an opinion and a fact. Okay. So yeah, at sea level, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, right? This is an objective fact. Nothing changes. We can do an experiment, right? An objective fact is that women live longer than men. It's not saying women are better than men, right? Or men are better than women. It's not saying anything like that. There's just evidence. There's scientific proof, on average, okay? Not every woman lives longer than men, but on average, out of 1 million people, you look at the data and women will live longer than men. That's a fact, okay? Kokorech is delicious. That's an opinion, but Kokorech is made with intestines or from intestines. Does anybody like Kokorech? I love Kokorech. Kotorech. What am I doing? I'm so sorry. Have I been spelling it wrong all these years? Oh my gosh. No wonder nobody laughs at my jokes. I can't spell. Kokorech. Who likes Kokorech? It's like there's a club. It's like in Turkey. See? Okay. You're either in the club that likes Kokorech or you're in the club that doesn't like Kokorech. There are two types of people in Turkey. People who love Kokorech and people who don't. People who don't like Kokorech do not understand why people who love Kokorech eat that stuff. I love it. I love it before, after, anytime. It could be in the afternoon. It could be in the morning. I'm from Adana. I'll eat Kokorech in the morning. Except they don't make it in the morning. Okay? So sometimes facts need proof. Okay? So yes, women live longer than men. That's a fact. But how? Like, how much? Like, I want to know more details, right? So then we have to use these things. It's called specific details to prove these statements. Okay? So we have opinions, and that's your argument. We have facts. It's stating something. Okay? But we need a little bit more, right? We need some kind of data, some kind of information, some kind of research that will tell us more. So these are what we call specific support details. And these include examples, okay? Statistics, these numbers, quotations, things from books, from videos. All right, so for example, opinion. Photographs of ultra-thin fashion models send the wrong message to girls and young women. Okay, that's an opinion, right? It's wrong message. Anything you talk about right or wrong, anytime you talk about good or bad, it's an opinion. It's okay to have opinions. It's not okay to not support your opinions. Okay, so a fact: ultra fashion models are unnaturally thin. Okay, that's the beauty standard. Maybe not every country's fashion models are unnaturally thin, but on average, or from this place, this context, maybe fashion models are all unnaturally thin. If you look on Instagram, if you look at the filters, things like that. What we want really is all of this information, right? This is a nice way to do the funnel when you go from, lots of general, broad information and you take it down to more details, make it more specific, general to specific. Okay. Average model weighs 25% less than the average woman of the same height. Okay. And it'd be great to know where that information came from. Maybe there was a research in 1995, and that's kind of old. Maybe I might look for a research from 2020. Maybe things have changed, okay? But somewhere somebody did this research. They measured average women versus models, okay? So this is a great little start for a paragraph, right? We can just make this into a paragraph. Photographs of ultra-thin fashion models send the wrong message to girls and young women. Fashion models are unnaturally thin. The average model weighs 25% less than the average woman of the same height. Therefore, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Therefore, I don't know, it's an unrealistic expectation to be this thin. I don't know, body image stuff. It's very difficult. Practice number 1. Let's practice something. Okay, let's look at specific supporting details. We're gonna do this on a different thing. Where do I have it? I didn't have it. Mr. Bob. Whoops! I gave you the answers. Oh my God! This is why I stopped doing this. This is why I stopped. Because it's so hard to hide the answers. I'm going to throw this in the chat. You guys can do this. You can do this. So which one's an opinion? Which one's a fact? I got to zoom in. Is it going to work? No. Doesn't work. Nothing works. People who steal identities. It's talking about identity theft. It's a little old. Punishment for identity theft is not severe enough. Identity theft is increasing at a rapid pace. So I want you to put these into categories for opinion. Do you think it's an opinion? Do you think it's a fact that needs proof? Or do you think it's a specific supporting detail? This one has information, data. Do it together. You can do it on your own. Just press the submit button once you're finished. But let's do this first one. People who steal identities do a lot of damage before their victims become aware of it. Do you think this is an opinion, a fact that needs proof, or specific supporting detail? Do a lot of damage. Okay. What does a lot mean? Before their victims become aware of it. Opinion. Yeah, because we don't know, right? I'm going to say it's an opinion. There's not a lot of, it's not saying, it's not giving any specific information. Let's look at this one. Identity theft is increasing at a rapid pace. Let you guys type it out. Everybody, type it out. What do you guys do when you're just sitting there? Fact that needs proof. Yeah. See? Hopefully you didn't look at the screen before, but yes, it's increasing. How fast? We don't know. When was this study? What year? There's no information like that, right? Identity theft is more serious than any other type of theft. Do you think so? Identity theft? What about your house was stolen? I think it's an opinion. Uh, Identity theft happens to ordinary people, not just to the wealthy. Okay, is this objective, subjective? Is this a truth or an opinion? Coffee. I don't know. So let me ask you this. Do you think that people that are ordinary have identity theft? And do you think that wealthy people have identity theft? And then can I prove it? Probably. I'm going to put this one in the facts that need proof. Okay? Because, yes, identity theft happens to everyone, right? Yeah, maybe. This one's easy. In 2003, 60% of identity theft victims did not notify the police, according to the FTC, the Federal Trades Commission. It's an American federation, corporate organization. Okay, so these are pretty much easier, right? This is giving us very specific information, okay? Sure. Sorry. Anything with percentages, with numbers, okay? So this one's also pretty easy. In 2003, 31,000 cases of identity theft were reported to the FTC. In 2003, the number was 210,000. Sorry. Specific, right? And let's look for another one that's specific. Anytime you see numbers, anytime you see years, usually, it's usually a fact, usually a fact. And then usually has some kind of specific supporting details. So last year, the losses of victims totaled more than $7 billion. It's probably way more now. Stealing people's bitcoins. All right. Punishment for identity thieves is not enough. And most people do not report identity theft to the police. This one I'm going to put as an opinion, right? Somebody might say it's severe. Some people might say, oh, it's not severe enough. Some people might say, oh, it's okay. It shouldn't be a crime. So you can have an opinion about that. It is kind of, 2 years in prison, is that too much? Is it too little? Is 5 days in prison enough to scare people? I think it's sometimes just putting them in prison for 24 hours might be enough. Most people do not report identity theft to the police. So when you think about opinions, if you put some information on there, would it become a fact, right? Most people do not report identity theft to the police. Most people. What does most people mean? It's a number. It's a quantity, right? So if I told you a number, instead of most people, if I said 60% of people do not report identity theft to the police, then you can figure out, yeah, that's a fact, right? And there's information. But when they say most people, we need more proof. I'm going to see if I'm right. Let's see. I think I'm wrong. Oh. This one's wrong. Wait, come back. Oh. Wrong. Where does this one go? People who steal identities do a lot of damage for victims become aware. Huh. I guess so. That is a fact. Okay. That's a fact that needs proof. Your teacher's wrong. It's good to be wrong, guys. You learn something every day. All right. Let's get back. Yeah, there's only 2 O's. Writer could give an example of a person who's victimized before noticing it. People who steal identities do a lot of damage before the victims become aware of it. Of course, duh, that's a fact. Yeah, you usually are do not become aware of it until way after the fact. Right? So yeah, think about facts, think about opinions when you read something in the newspaper, when you read something on the internet. Try to think, what you're seeing. Is this fact? Is the facts real? Is somebody making this up? Can you look for evidence? If they're claiming, oh, if you put avocado oil on your face, your skin's gonna be perfect. They're trying to sell you something, right? This is how people sell you things. They show you this beautiful lady or guy with perfect skin, and they say, look, he uses avocado oil on his skin. And maybe it's true, but maybe he's just has nice skin, or she has nice skin. And so yeah, it's okay. It's not okay. It's wonderful. It's perfect to get information from other sources. You can use personal experiences, your own. Okay, you can talk about the time that you were identity thefted, when your identity was stolen. I mean, um, and because that, it's a fact. It happened to you. You can talk about your experience. You shouldn't only talk about your experience. You should use other information to help support what your experiences, how your experiences are similar to most other people's experiences, right? That's how the story becomes a good story. Gather quotations and statistics. Okay, so we need to find this information. We go online, we do our research on Google Scholar, whatever, wherever you get your information. You can ask your grandmother. Maybe she had her identity stolen. We can take a survey. We can ask like 100 people, has this happened to you? Out of those people, what was it like? How much money did you lose in total? How long did it take to get your identity back? I don't know. You can interview people. You can ask people. Okay, so there's different ways of getting information. We can interview our classmates. We can interview our teachers, friends, strangers in the city. If you're doing research about how many people love Kokorech and Izmir, and you want to compare that to Adana, maybe you ask like 100 people on the streets, 1,000 people. You say, do you like Kokorech? They say no. You write it down. No, yes, no, yes, 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 yes. You can say, oh, more people in Adana like Kokorech than people in Izmir. Okay. Wonderful research. I'm going to do it. Okay, 3 ways that we can insert outside information. You can quote it, right? So this is exactly what they said. So if you do an interview, you can take that information. If you get it from a book, copy and paste, but put the quotations. And that lets me know that you didn't say that. Somebody else said it. So you're not stealing, you're just borrowing. It's okay to borrow, okay? It's not okay to steal, right? Is this a fact or an opinion? I guess it's an opinion, but we have laws, so I would say it's a fact. Okay? We have laws against stealing things, right? You can't steal something from your family or your friends or your neighbors, but you can borrow things. And borrowing means you ask them, right? If you just take something without telling somebody and then you put it back, is that stealing or is it borrowing? I don't know. You can summarize it, so you use different words, okay? Using more than the original to explain it. So you add some more, you change the words around, okay? But you still have to tell me where you got it from, okay? So this is when you're stealing ideas, not words. You're stealing ideas from people. You can paraphrase it, which means summarizing means to explain it all in your own word. Paraphrasing is taking that sentence and kind of changing some of the words. The sentence is almost the same, but it's different enough. It's different enough. Okay, so you're rewording the one sentence to have the same ideas. Okay, that's called paraphrasing. Summarizing is when you explain it in maybe a few more sentences. I don't have an example. Why don't I have an example here? Let's look at pollen again. Let's see. Stop eating before you're full. Okay. So if I did this, this would be a quote, right? Let's open up a Google Docs. Okay. And what's his name? His name is Pollen. Right. So I'm going to do this. I think it was written in 2003. Dang it. You guys got to learn how to use stuff, you know. Michael Pollan, what year? Goodreads. Anybody use Goodreads? What year? 2008. Sorry, 2003. So that's a quotation, right? Stop eating before you're full. Sometimes we put the comma inside. You can put it inside. All right. And then we could summarize it, you know. Michael Pollan. So this is a quotation. This is a summary. How do we summarize this? Can someone summarize this to me in like maybe a couple sentences? Good. Oh, so no quotation. So the summary would be something like, you know, Michael Pollan says that this is too easy. Michael Pollan says that you should stop, I don't know, eating food before you are. Stop eating food before you are. Is there another word for full? It doesn't matter. Says. Before you're full. Okay. And right. You still have to put this little thing. Okay. You put the author's name, the year that the book or thing was written. Boom. This is how I know that you got this information from somewhere. Paraphrasing is you don't use quotations. Okay, but we're just going to change this around. When you're full, you should quit eating. Okay? It's like similar enough, right? But what do we have to do? We still have to put this information because I didn't say this. It is kind of common knowledge, is it not? I don't know. But in his book, you know, we're talking about when you're. It's not a great example, guys. Okay, but paraphrasing is when you kind of take the sentence, the original, with the quotations, okay, and then you just kind of rewrite it a little bit. You maybe change the order of the words. It's still not your idea. It came from this guy, right? Unless you say this every day. It's not a great example. But anyways. Okay, but you have to cite. C-I-T-E. That's where the word citation comes from. You have to identify. I know this is a lot of information. You're not going to all use this, but when you are going to be in university, you're going to remember this, okay? You're going to say, this is boring, Mr. Bob. But when you are in your second, third, fourth year and you're writing essays and they're telling you to do this, just say, thanks, Mr. Bob. All right. So using outside sources. Okay. So this is what we're going to be talking about. Plagiarism. Okay. Using someone else's words or ideas as if they were your own. Serious problem. Okay, students who plagiarize may fail a class. You'll fail the assignment. Okay, I have ways of checking if you copied it from a website. Okay, there's websites. I just put your document in, and then boom, 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 it tells me where the plagiarism is. Okay, we're gonna talk more about this. To avoid plagiarism, just use quotation marks. Don't copy and paste. It's okay to borrow, remember? It's okay. Just put the quotations around it. That's all you have to do. And just tell me where you got it from. That's so easy. You can you can borrow. Just don't steal. Stealing is when you say it's mine. Right? That's my ideas. And then Michael Pollan will say, "No, those are my ideas. You're going to jail." You do not need quotations if you change the words enough, right? But you still need to put the citation. Cite a source means to tell where you got the information from. Cite a source. Cite a source means to tell where you got the information from. Did you get it from a web page? Did you get it from YouTube? Did you get it from your mom? You can quote your mom, you know? You can quote your teacher. When? 2008. That's how you do it. We have those parentheses, okay? We have these, then we have this, okay? Then you have a last name, and then you have a year. Easy. Right? Why do I have a year? Because authors write books, multiple books, more than one. Okay, so citing sources. We use APA, which is the American Psychology Association. Okay, they have a special way of doing it. We can have something like this in text citation. Insert a short reference in parentheses at the end of each borrowed information. See? You didn't steal it. You borrowed it. Okay? And it's, yeah, we know borrowing is better than stealing. Entries in works cited lists. So this is what it looks like. We call this a reference. We'll talk about this more. You put this at the end. Okay? I'll do this for you today. We look at the appendix. Oh, no. That's not there. This is called the references. I don't know. Do you guys know about this? Have you seen this before? Is this the first time you're hearing about citing sources, about paraphrasing? Every time you do a writing class, you should know about these rules. Your school should have rules, but they don't. And then there are powerful people, politicians, leaders who also are known to plagiarize. That's the verb form of plagiarism. Okay, so quotations are really good supporting details. Okay, whenever you use a quotation, you found something that was like really supporting your details, right? All those in 2003, blah, blah, blah percent, right? We can do direct quotations, like we just said, those commas. Said the man. Indirect, okay? With indirect, we use these reporting verbs, okay? We'll talk about these. According to A, whoever A is, according to Pollan, right? He believes you should use less ingredients in your food, or you should buy, according to Pollan, 2008, you should only have 5 ingredients, or you shouldn't eat it. Maybe that's a belief. So, you know, Michael Pollan believes that people should only eat food with 5 ingredients in the label, right? You got that information. You're telling me where you got it from. You're telling the author's name. You put the 2008 at the end. I know where you got this information from. And there's so many. Well, I'll just do like a explanation about quotations. I'll send you guys a document, a PDF, all the different ways to do quotations. Okay, there's lots of rules. I know it's boring, but it's necessary. This makes you a better academic writer. This makes you a better student in the future. This will make you a better, I don't know, researcher, worker, everything, you know. I just think the more information you guys have, more you'll be able to do. I'll talk about it more in a video. So we'll talk about more quotations later. I know. Okay. Questions, comments, suggestions, anything? What do you guys think? Supporting details. Okay. Facts. Sorry, opinions, facts that need some more proof. And then we have these specific supporting details, SSDs. Solid state drives. No. Specific supporting details. We need those in every one of our body paragraphs to give us better information, right? If we're talking about the water crisis, we would take some information from, the video. All right, so that's supporting sentences. Wonderful. Before we end, we only have 6 minutes. Let's just get started. Because I'm Bob. All right, I'm going to get into detail about plagiarism. So what is plagiarism? This one's a nice. Whoops. What is plagiarism? Okay, so academic writing, how to avoid plagiarizing. It's morning, Very important, okay? Because I think most students plagiarize because they don't know how to not plagiarize. And once you learn how easy it is to avoid it, you can do it. Really? Dang it. Okay, let's find out. Okay, everybody should know what this means, okay? I'll make a little short video just about plagiarism so everybody can see. But plagiarism is about writing, and it's about stealing, okay? And there are people I hear in your government, top people in the government, they did this thing. What is plagiarism on terrain? I guess I should help you. We should help each other. We should put it in the Quizlet. First one? Let's throw it in the Quizlet. I know it's reading, but whatever. Study sets. Gamma reading. Reading, writing. Let's make it reading, writing. It's too important to not have it. We have all these words. I still need to add words from last week. Plagiarism. I'm going to put the first one. Is that right? Okay. Know what this word means? Because I'm kind of serious about this stuff. I find it's easy for me to find as a teacher. And I will tell you, and you will do the assignment again. I always give students second chances, okay? You guys deserve second chances. Everybody deserves a second chance, okay? So plagiarism is the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. Passing off is like you pretend it's yours, okay? The practice, the act, the doing of taking someone else's work or ideas and then passing them off as your own. You pretend passing off. You can pass off as you can try to dress up as somebody, like look like a celebrity, You can pass off as looking more something, using filters. But you can also practice, you can pass off taking someone's information and then saying that they are yours, okay? And yeah, it's an ethical issue, it's a moral issue, it's an educational issue, And like we always say, when you cheat yourself. So I take this very seriously, guys. And I'm sorry you're in my class, but I do. And you'll thank me for it years from now. Plagiarism, what is it? We have a few more minutes. Let's watch this SNL skit. There's no subtitles. I don't know why. Anyways, all right, I'll send you guys this link. But this is Saturday Night Live. It's an older episode. Talks about plagiarism very well. Different ways you can do it. You buy something off the internet. I don't know if you guys do that. If you pay somebody, I know somebody, a student in Chukurova. People would pay him money, and he would write their essays for them. I don't know. It's crazy, crazy world. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back at let's do 10:35 since I stole some of your time. And yeah, we'll talk more about plagiarism. All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.